Hey guys, Robbie here from CrossFit South Bend with another Wellness Wednesday. Today we've got a special user request cooking demo, special Halloween edition. As you can see, we've got Dorothy, the Tin Man over there, the Lion, and the Scarecrow, and they've all agreed to, reluctantly or maybe graciously, agreed to dress up like this for Halloween in exchange for their favorite meat, which is of course duck. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about duck. It's something that not a lot of people have too much experience with, but it's a really, really delicious alternative to the types of poultry that you commonly use. And we're going to talk a little bit about how to prepare it today. So we're going to start off just by preparing it, and then I'm going to talk to you a little bit more in detail about what duck is like, what sort of flavor profile it has, things like that. Okay, so we've got a duck breast here. I had just salted it, just seasoned it a little bit. What you can do from here is just kind of pat it dry a little bit if you're going to be sauteing it to make sure that you get that nice crispy skin. If you're willing to take an extra couple minutes or so, what you can do, if you'd like, is you can score the skin, meaning that you just do cross hatches in the skin, just kind of take a knife and do X's in the skin. What that does is it allows the fat to render out while you're cooking. I'm all about simplicity when it comes to cooking. I think the skin turns out just fine when you saute it like this, so that's the way we're going to do it today. If you wanted to roast it as well, which is a very common way that I do it, you just take this, put it on a sheet pan, put it in the oven for about 15-20 minutes at 400, and it comes out delicious. We actually have one in there right now that we're going to show you in just a few minutes. Okay, so I got my skillet here preheated. If you want to be really decadent about it, you can actually put in some duck fat to saute your duck with. You don't have to, you could use olive oil, that's totally fine. But what I'm going to do here is just take some duck fat, about a tablespoon or so, just melt it a little bit, turn the heat up just a little bit here. Alright, and we've dried out this skin. I'm just going to blot it one more time before I put it on. And you guys want to start out by putting it skin side down. Let that skin crisp up. That's really just one of the absolute best parts of the duck. Okay. Alright, so we got it skin side down. I'm going to turn the heat up just a little bit here. Just wash my hands very quickly. Okay, so what's unique about duck? Well, duck has actually become one of my personal favorite proteins over the past year. I would venture to say that it's actually my current favorite, even more than something like steak or pork chop, which you might find hard to believe. But it is not just in terms of convenience. It's actually really, really quick to prepare, but in terms of taste. So, like I was saying before, duck is really, really easy to prepare. You just salt it a little bit. You can do extra stuff to it if you'd like, but really all you have to do is salt it, put it in the oven, or saute it, and then the taste. So the taste is really unlike any other piece of poultry that you've had before. Most of us, over the past, 20 or 30 years have been transitioning from red meats to more poultry, boneless, skinless chicken breast, things like that, turkey breast, which can be good depending on how you prepare them, but honestly, they get a little bit dry, they don't taste so good all the time. So duck is the steak of the poultry world. It's really fantastically delicious. The skin is really a big part of what makes it delicious. If you've ever had skin on chicken breast coming right out of the oven or out of a skillet, it's really just fantastically delicious. It's got a lot of fat in it that makes the meat nice and juicy and tender. In addition to that, duck, one thing you should be prepared for if you're going to go out and prepare duck is it's a really more fatty, kind of rich cut of meat. So if you find yourself thinking that rich fatty cuts of meat are a little bit too much for you, what you can do is you can cut the fat a little bit with some orange slices. This is one of the reasons why a lot of times chefs will make duck with orange, use some citrus flavor to try to cut the fattiness of the duck. So what you can really do once you've kind of got this sauteed on one side and then the skin is really crisped up is you just flip it on the other side for just a teeny bit so that it crisps up a little bit on the other side. Really the side that matters is the skin side, and then we're going to pop it in the oven. Before we do that, just going to talk to you real briefly about two different methods of cooking, sauteing and roasting. So people talk to me all the time about, man, I just don't have enough time to cook, how to prepare these things. Duck is an excellent example. Whether you decide to saute it or roast it, it's really not going to take too much time. And if it does, there's something else you can do. So let's say you decide to take your piece of duck and then roast it in the oven. You can go do something else for the 15 or 20 minutes it takes for the duck to cook. If instead you decide to saute it, you just got to be there for a couple minutes while it's sauteing on one side while the skin is really crisping up. And then, after that, just pop it in the oven and you're good to go. So it doesn't really take too long to get a hang of. So just gonna get one of these right here, pieces of tongue, turn the heat down just a bit, starting to smoke just a little bit. And I'm just gonna flip it over. As you can see, the skin's got nice and crisp. That's what you want. Like I said before, if you want to cross hatch it to get even more of that fat to render out, that's great, but to me, that looks like really good, crispy skin. And what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to put this in the oven for just about 5 minutes or so. You can either do it at 350 or 400, depending on how much time you have. 350 will take a little bit longer, 400 if you want to cook a bit quicker. And then when we come back, I'm going to show you guys the finished product, all right? See you guys in a bit. Hey guys, Robbie back here. Our duck is finished. We've got our dogs, special Halloween edition, eagerly waiting. So, I took that piece of duck breast that we had sauteed, took it out of the oven, cut it open just to kind of make sure that the doneness was okay. And what we have here is we have the duck that I sauteed and then put in the oven versus the duck that was just purely roasted. I think either version ends up tasting fantastic. It just really depends on which one you like. If you don't have access to duck fat, if you haven't ordered it online and you want to try getting some by sauteing it first and then maybe sauteing some veggies in it, which actually is really delicious, in particular like potatoes and onions. Fantastic. You saute your duck and then you saute some potatoes and onions afterwards. That's fantastic. So that might be a reason to saute. If, like me, you're just always looking for a quick and convenient way to prepare things, I just throw it in the oven. Honestly, 15-20 minutes. That skin is nice and crisp. If you like it a little bit more crisp, you can leave it in there for a little bit longer. Totally fine. Either way, comes out delicious. Now, the recommendation on poultry for temperature doneness in duck as well as chicken and turkey is 165 degrees. So make sure you test yours when you're cooking. That being said, duck, unlike other types of poultry, is typically going to be, even when done, red/pink in the center. So whereas chicken, you probably don't want to leave too pink in the center, duck, even when it's appropriately prepared, can have a reddish pink quality to it in the center, just kind of like a steak. So that's something to keep in mind. All right, guys, Robbie here with another Wellness Wednesday cooking demo. We hope you go out and give duck a try. It's a really fantastic protein. Most people haven't really tried it, the same way when we did the plantain demo last time. It's something that people hadn't tried, so something new to kind of add some variety to your meals. Give it a try, see what you think, and we'll see you next time.